All right. I think Caputo is all we have right now. We got 7. It's not a bad spot. Let's make sure it's the newest one, right? 624, 13 hours ago. Yep, that's it.
And here we go.
Oh, he's so cute. Look at that little, he's got a little suit on.
Little shoes on a duck.
Art Studios. I'm very excited. I am.
Really?
I just was reminded of a guest we have today, and I love this guy.
Oh,
It's the Bob and Tom Show. There's Christy Lee.
hello.
She's at the news desk. There's Josh Arnold. Hello. There's Ace Cosby. Hey, Chick. Hey, man, I'm Chick McGee, and sports coming up, including the World Cup.
Strap the
Tom,
championship team,
can't
boys.
Tear himself away from the TV. Just can't. Yeah.
Honey, come to dinner. Dad, please play with us. No, he won't.
No.
He's glued to it.
It's 0-0 after 90 minutes. I don't want to miss any more
I'll
action.
tell you, the bars around here must be having a field day because the parking lots are packed.
Good.
Yep.
Keeps him off the road.
Packed.
Keeps him off the road. Good.
It seems to be very popular,
Yes, it
despite your naysaying.
No, it's fine. That's not for me, as Josh would say.
See, but you're revisionist history. You're going back and changing your tune. You said many people act like they like the World Cup. That was your
Yes, that's true.
thorn in your side about it. And you were the only one brave enough to stand up and say, no.
I'm a company man. I got to
It's
take
boring.
ESPN off the
Boring,
screen.
I hate it.
Hashtag Underdog. Hashtag sponsor me.
All right.
Hey, look, just not my thing.
This is the best men's USA World Cup soccer
Yeah.
team we've ever had in the history of the world.
What time do they play tomorrow?
And we're one of the bigger countries. 10 o'clock, SoFi, Turkey.
Yeah.
These motherfuckers keep doing this to me.
We play Turkey and
Yeah, that's
LA?
very good.
Yes.
okay, very. I don't. This is confusing. I don't care.
It's confusing.
Good luck to everybody.
See what they
You
do.
know they've won 2 games, right?
I'm fully aware of that.
Well, your Norway guys,
They're taking the country
whole
away.
stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're taking the country.
It's
away.
impressive.
I
This
think
is
we
the,
could.
the rowing thing.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Remember the Greenland thing that we almost, yeah, it's going to be Norway. They're going to come, we're going to become Norwegian or whatever you say. Norwegian.
I'd like to go to Norway. Anybody been there?
No.
No.
Yeah, I've always wanted to go to
I understand it's lovely in the winter.
Is it?
Well, I won't be
bet
going
it
in
is.
the winter.
A little chilly.
You could give me 10 minutes in a globe and I couldn't find Norway.
It's a Scandinavian
I'm
country.
horrible at geography.
Well,
Tom, did you hear that the Norwegians had a bunch of fish and a bunch of brown cheese shipped in?
Bruh.
Their favorite foods.
Absolutely.
I don't know if Jess Soder's going to make any of that for us. Can we get some gefilte fish?
No
Or
thanks.
fisk
Yeah,
or whatever the hell that is?
they want to keep their diet
Yeah.
on its normal schedule. So most of the food you're reading about is not for the teams; it's for the fans.
Right.
And they love things like going to Buc-ee's.
I like going to Buc-ee's.
Sure, I know they're discovering all this cool stuff about America, the fans. But it's a big international thing. I appreciate
Sometimes
that.
we take these things for granted. I saw a European holding up a corn dog, and he couldn't believe it. And it didn't occur to me they probably don't have corn dogs
No.
everywhere.
Yeah.
Jeremiah Love in that spot, bro.
I'm telling you,
It's weird, right?
the ugly American, you cannot get ice in Europe. They don't like it. They don't.
No, they don't.
You want a cold drink? Too bad. You have to pack your own ice in a carry-on.
You mentioned corn dog. I saw an article yesterday or the day before something. Somebody from the New York Times went and tried all the food at O'Hare at the airport. Did you see this?
No.
And one of the things that he highlighted as one of the best foods at the airport was the is it Aunt Annie's pretzel dogs?
Oh, yeah. They're
Have you
good.
guys had that
Oh,
before?
yeah.
I have had Auntie Anne's pretzel
They're
dogs.
very good.
Are they really good?
They
It was
are.
delicious.
Yeah, that I have to try that next time.
I'm excited just hearing about it. I love
Doesn't it
those.
sound
I love
great?
those pretzels.
I do
And
too, and then put a hot dog in it.
oh my God,
Yeah.
America, America.
They
I
have the
worked in a
pretzel
mall
dog.
for a little bit.
Dip them in cheese.
It was that. It was the one in Nashville that flooded out. What was the name of that big mall? But
Oh, I remember. No,
Opry
Chicken
Mill.
noodles.
yeah,
Opry
Opry Mills.
Mills.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You worked there?
Yeah, we had a rolling store there for a few months, and I ran it and had to live there instead.
I
It was
ran it into the ground.
Was it just like a pop up store? That
Cool. Yeah, it was a temporary lease. I think 6 months, and there was an Annie Ann's, and yeah, I had a few of those every week.
Man, that would be tough to forego if it was right. That and the Luca Pizza, I love that.
Yeah,
All that
me too.
right there.
Yeah.
My name is Luca. I serve pizza at the mall.
Don't you think there's something cool about eating in a food court? Like you can go get Chinese, and then you go get a piece of fried
Sure.
chicken, and you go get a hot dog, and then a pretzel.
But hasn't it become sort of a standard that there's a guy standing there with the toothpicks and the
Oh, for sure. with
Teriyaki
the-
chicken.
and the
yeah.
teriyaki
Yeah.
chicken?
Yeah, that's
I hope
amazing.
that's still happening.
Yeah,
Well,
that's good chicken.
So do we have some World Cup updates apparently?
Hell yeah.
Okay, I have a request I was trying to get in yesterday and I did not get it on, and it's a special request. So I thought I would get it on early, get it out of the way.
Get it on.
It's it features the fine orchestration of the Bob and Tom Band and Orchestra, and
Okay.
in a world of fake AI, everything. I'm proud to say that we always use real instruments, real strings, real horn players come on in and do the sessions.
Yeah, we put up with their weirdness.
And the beauty of it is you're talking symphony level players and very excellent players, and they come in to do songs like this. This is not really in their normal repertoire. This is well, you'll see, but you'll enjoy the nice international feel of the horns.
As a service to our Hispanic friends, the following commercial announcement is brought to you in both English and Spanish.
Hello, I am Juan Popil, famous inventor and president of Juancom Industries.
Hola, me llamo
Glad
Juan
McConkey, right?
presidente de la Juancom
He grabs lies.
Due to a minor problem with the Mexican tax laws, I recently spent a considerable amount of time in a Mexican prison.
Prendido recientemente un sumo considerable tiempo en el Casa Grande Mexicano.
Where I had the misfortune of having a particularly amorous cellmate, Jose.
Donde tengo la desgracia de tenido un castel consorte muy un amorsa.
Okay, he'll play and get Lamar.
Slammer de buttocks. Jose.
This led me to invent the first product designed to prevent unauthorized rear entry.
Este mi salida al inventar el producto primero, priac al pleventes. No visite el poop shoot.
After installation, unwanted intruders are greeted by an ear-piercing alarm, followed by our patented orifice-centric grinding mechanism.
Desde instalación, intrusos no desvalida están salada por alarma. El slongo.
And now I am pleased to offer this product to you.
Y ahora soy contentos el prometer el producto bien a ustedes.
New from Wanco Industries, it's the Backdoor Buddy, the Sodomigo.
The Sodomigo.
La cosa nueva la Juanco Industries es el Sodomigo.
With the Sodomigo Backdoor Buddy, you won't have to turn the other cheek.
Con el sonido como el diablo, bastardo entre como el Ned Beatty.
Because we're behind you 100%, keeping away unwanted intruders.
De la entre como el sui.
Let him fall.
Amigo, Frigamall Industries, Cancun, Mexico.
Sadamigo, Fligamall Industries, Cancun, Mexico.
Well, thank you very much.
Now, there was an edit done there that I was waiting
looking
the whole
forward to?
time for the Spanish. At one point, the Spanish announcer says something in Spanish, and then he ends it with "Fanny Bandit."
That got edited, but there were others.
We had a representative from Rosetta Stone come in and translate all that.
Oh, yeah.
Totally on the up.
Yeah,
Yes.
very nice, very nice. Well, thank you. By special request
Yes.
from a gent I met at the airport.
A gent?
Came up to me and he said, "Hey, I haven't heard Sodomigo." And I said, "I haven't played that one in years."
Obviously, there was a
Very
reason
well
for
There,
that.
there it is. Some nice singing and some very nice horns in there. Mm-hmm. Now, we will be happy to get your requests in, perhaps, or just get your mail in. A lot of letters in front of me right now. We'll get to these in a matter of moments. You can reach us, Bob and Tom at bobandtom.com. We always love to hear from you. Right now, speaking of protection,
Let me tell you about my friend at Simply Safe in the United States. Did you know there's a break-in every 26 seconds? That means somewhere right now an intruder is getting close to somebody's stuff that ain't his. Traditional home security only alerts you after a break-in's already happened. Talk about closing the barn door. That's too late. Simply Safe is changing all of that using advanced AI alerts. Simply Safe U.S.-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them. So the intruder never gets into your house. The crime stopped before it even starts. That's why I chose Simply Safe to give me peace of mind and secure my compound. And we use it here at the Bob and Tom Studios. Plus, don't ever forget that Simply Safe has no long-term contracts, no lock-ins or hidden cancellation fees, and affordable pricing with monitoring and deterrence plans starting at around $1 a day. Plus, it's very easy to set up your own system. How easy? Well, let's put it this way. I've done it a couple
a nice
times.
build so far.
Easy peasy lemon squeezy.
Almost everything's
We'd
connected
like you
besides
to
Hubbard.
experience the same peace of mind we all do, and we do here at the Bob and Tom Studios. Plus, we have a special deal for Bob and Tom listeners only. Right now, get 60% off and a free outdoor camera on your new system. Just visit simplysafetom.com to get your swell deal. That's 60% off and a free outdoor camera on your new system. Just go to simplysafetom.com. That's simplysafetom.com. And remember, there's no safe like Simply Safe.
coming up, we have a great comedian guest.
I like DK
Ryan
Metcalf.
Hamilton. I'm a huge fan. Looking forward to talking to Ryan. Also, we have giraffes in the news, deer in the news, coyote in the news,
QJ, Quentin
dead
Johnson,
body
DJ.
news, and I don't even know how
Cortland
to. I don't want to
Sutton.
give this one away too much, but
Have you ever seen a dead body in the wild?
of course.
Of course.
Yeah,
What do you-
well, not in a funeral home, right? Like,
in the wild.
In the
Like,
wild?
Right. Stumbled upon one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
no.
thankfully, no.
no.
Okay.
You mean lying dead in the
Quentin
street?
I
Johnson's
thought you
gone.
said,
Yeah.
but you said, of course, initially. like you were worked as a medical examiner somewhere.
He's one of the kids in Stand By Me.
Right.
Mark Purdy's down there.
First time.
We have
saw a dead body.
an odd dead body. Well, lots of dead body stories in kind of a Frankenstein-like way. All on the way today to cheer you up. These are the.
Yes.
We have an uplifting story about a loose giraffe in Texas.
Oh,
I'm not sure they've gotten her home yet, but they've spotted her. I guess it wouldn't be that hard.
It's a girl giraffe?
Yeah.
How far do those babies fall when they're born? Like, what, 60 feet? Man. Right?
Don't they lie down, I hope. Yeah,
okay.
we'll figure that out. Once again, we're in the O'Reilly Auto Parts studios. This is the Bob and Tom Show.
We're going Brock Purdy with the next pick. Damn, Xavier Woody's there too.
Yeah, we're going to do one right now. This is a song about, some things that kind of went wrong a while back.
Oh.
Completely original number. Hope you like it.
No more Mennonite guy. No more watching MTV. No more Mennonite guy. They said, get down on your knee.
Garage door opener.
Sure. That can be an ordeal.
Mm-hmm.
And so I got the universal garage door opener, got home, opened it up. There was the garage door opener. I'm looking for the directions. There aren't any.
Are you going to put it up yourself?
What do you mean?
There were no directions.
Was there a QR code?
Yeah, so I had to go online,
Oh, yeah.
and then that's how I found it.
Yeah.
They didn't even bother.
Huh.
So was this I guess, did they come over and install a new garage door opener, or was it just the remote button?
Just a remote button.
Okay, so you got a new
I had to get a new remote button.
Okay.
It's like $60.
Right.
But yeah,
right.
you'd think there'd be some instructions.
But then nothing.
Well, you know, there's a learning curve. You got to push a button on the door.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to get in the ladder.
Learn, and it needs to go in learning mode.
Yes, and you got it. But it would be nice. And also, by the way, they don't bother marking the buttons. It doesn't say which one's the learn button. There are 4 buttons up there.
Okay. There has to be a better explanation.
No. Then you've got to.
Hey, Meta. Cold Claire. Hello. I do have some gossip to tell you. Are you still in New York?
When you buy an Arena Club slab pack, you're getting an authentic, graded card, ready to collect.
Wednesday, June 24th, 8:30 p.m. to draft some best ball teams. Let's go. Like, that's the most obvious tournament to enter. Want to try to max this contest, honestly. I want my shots in this scoring setting. With a 1x6, 1-of-5 advance, 310-person final, this is the type of contest I'm most interested in maxing when it's only 20. So this is what we're going to be doing first, and then we will do at least one eliminator tonight to try to keep pace on the challenge. And for the most part, we're staying in the poodle otherwise. So probably 2 drafts in the poodle, 1 in the eliminator, but tonight we're starting with the poodle. And let's bring in the chat real quick. We got A-Rod in the house, dropping the joint emoji. What's good? Howdy, Bo. Hope you're doing well. We are ready to go. I'm going to join the poodle in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. All right, 10 spots available. So maybe you hopped in the pre-flow perhaps, but we are up and running. We are good to go. All set. Good luck, everyone. Hopefully the winner is drafted tonight in this lobby. Let's bring in the music. This draft is waiting on 2 still, but let's pop some music and set the tone, set the vibe, shall we? Draft is officially full. Give me a good pick. Give me a nice pick, please. Pick 12. No, pick 11. Thought I was right on the end. We get pick 11. Not upset with that whatsoever. Let me get the size situated. There we go. All right, I like the side of the board. Definitely my preferred end to be on, and whether we start off with Jefferson or a fall on a receiver and a running back, or just double running back, definitely like this side of the board quite a bit. But I see Game Tight in here. He pulled the 101. We got Rocco Jamaica in here at the 102. Super Beast, nice to see you, Keith. Greetings to you as well. Good evening, Bukowski. Nice to see you. Poppy Drizzy at the 104. Not sure if you're watching, but good luck to you. Rosebud, shout out Orson Welles. Lone Wolf, I believe we've drafted with Lone Wolf several times so far, so good luck as well. Underdogs Anonymous, A-Rod in the house at the 107. Niners fan, nice to see you, Chad. And then Nick MC, don't recognize you, but Shut Guard as well. And then right behind me is J Rock DeParty. We are not alone on the turn. So, best of luck, gentlemen. Or ladies. Who, maybe there's a woman
Kittle
amongst us. Good luck, everyone. But so far, the ADP is holding strong. Taylor at the 106. Finally, Amon-Ra. mixes it up a little bit. But the Niners fan does take Christian McCaffrey. What a shocker. What a surprise. As long as you're not afraid of the injury risk, I think it is correct to take CMC in round 1. So, fine with that. Jefferson goes. So it is double running back. We'll go Genty today. Nothing crazy. I almost got a Jefferson Genty start earlier from the 109. So Genty got 15, and I was like, damn. Almost. But we'll take him here. Haven't taken Genty in a minute on the channel. The player I've been pulling up that goes in this range a little bit more often has been Hampton. But Walker at the 112 means maybe James Cook gets passed on again. No, he goes 13. I mean, I prefer a Genty Hampton start. That's genuinely what I prefer. So, despite doing it many, many times, we'll do it again. Just feels correct. No issue with that. One of the best ways to begin of them all. So, with that, that deserves a rip from the pipe. We'll get started now. I haven't smoked in a bit, so hopefully the tolerance is not too sharp, but maybe I can build up to when I get way too faded. At least in a while. It might get worse, but where's my lighter? Oh, it's over there. I was burning some incense earlier, so the lighter was not on hand. No wonder I haven't smoked in a minute. Haven't had my hands on the lighter. But you know what to do. If you're here and you got something packed, go for it. I'll see you on the other side. All right, a Genty Hampton start absolutely deserves a rip from the pipe. And then we have the 402. That's always a good sign. Definitely like to smoke from the 402. But Smokers Haven FF, good to see you. I'm sure you probably joined me right there. What am I smoking on tonight? I think I mentioned this just yesterday. Maybe it was 2 days ago. But I got an ounce of wedding cake for a very reasonable price. And that's what we're rocking with this evening and moving forward in the near future. Don't expect to be moving off of it. I got a full ounce, so that'll be here for a while. Anyways, I'll ask you guys in the chat, what do we want for draft number 2? There is no like goal. It is definitely just drafting number 2. We want another Poodle or the Elim. But yeah, I would agree. It's solid. It's maybe not my favorite of all time, but it's a pretty solid, reliable strain. Ain't no issues with that. Especially when you get a full ounce for $74. Tough to beat that. Delivered to your house with taxes included. Tough to beat. All right. The question is, am I just willing to take neighbors, or do we let the risk move on to someone else? Will J-Rock the party pass twice? Probably not. He's probably taking Allen. Sure. I'll go neighbors tonight. I'll take neighbors. I'm not going to be completely afraid all of the time. And there's no one with like the same ceiling as neighbors. There's a world where he just takes such a long time to get on the field, it just doesn't pan out. But the upside is probably worth it. Not going to draft scared today, but I could take Ladd. I've taken him many times with Hampton. I kind of want to take Scattaboo. I really love this this start with Genty, Hampton, and Scattaboo. But with neighbors, I think I'm probably going to need something consistent I'll go Lad. Definitely prefer Lad over any other receiver. It's a little boring, definitely repetitive, but with the risk of Neighbors definitely just getting back in at that position. With the anchor top 2, no issue with that. Going to remain balanced. I know I'm going to like one receiver at pick 59. I don't know if I'll be guaranteed a second receiver I like at 62. We might have to go Jordan Tyson if we want a wideout in the 6th round. So that's not the end of the world. I don't hate it, but I do think there's a big drop off from who might be cut off from my access at 61. And there's usually one receiver at the top of the 6th. On occasion, there's 2. But if there's not a second receiver, then there's probably another running back. So I can leave that alone. But Rock Hard Castle Lit Farms is $30 an ounce. That's got to be some jank ass weed. That is cheap as fuck. That is not. That's one of the best deals I've seen. Typically, if you get $40 on a half ounce, where I'm from, with all the taxes we got, that's like as best as you can kind of do. So that's pretty crazy, man. What part of the country are you in? Do you like the ounce that you get for $30, or is it mostly just like shake? Because if it's shake, that's kind of different. Bass fishing. Do you prefer Naylor or Tucker? I prefer Tucker. I would rather have Tucker. Naylor in a new offense, a new system could be effective, but a lot of the time some of these free agents that we see sign these mid-level, double-digit million contracts. Like, I don't want to dismiss 15 mil, but in the days where Alec Pierce gets 27, it's just doesn't mean quite the same. So I worry about the player that's just not as familiar with the team in a much different environment. Sometimes these free agents just don't pan out. And it's not like Naylor really proved much in Minnesota. He had a couple big games, but for the most part, Tucker was the more reliable player by far last year. I'm going to stick with that, assuming it just is indicative of their talent and more likely indicative of who will win the job and stay on the field. Give me Trey Tucker over Jalen Naylor. But don't love the running back left on the board, so I'm going to take my favorite receiver. I'm going to go Brian Thomas. I do have another Week 7 bye with Ladd McConkey and Hampton, but at receiver, I'm willing to load up a little bit more heavy on that position early just because I know with volume I can adjust and account for it with how I build my team. But Jadarian Price still available. Like I mentioned, I'm not in love with all of the players here. We'd have to take Tyson. I'll go Tyler Warren. Could have tolerated Tyson for sure. I think we'll still be in an okay spot to get 2 more receivers that I like in the next rounds. And although I think Tyson is fine, it's not. I'm not as convinced he's more valuable than Tyler Warren. I've seen Tyler Warren moving up the board lately, Tyson moving down. So I'll take my chances. I can get Tyson on another team on maybe the left side of the board. But Warren on this side doesn't feel like he's a bad click. I'm fine with that. But, yo, what's up, Bayou? How we doing? Howdy. All seeds for $30 an ounce. That checks out. I'd believe that. Plus all of the growing equipment and all of the water costs and time. All of the harvesting equipment, time invested. And then the chance that you can just fuck it up. Yeah, that checks out. Check out the smalls. The smalls are usually all right. Buds, okay. Maybe I'll look into that. Maybe I will. But what I got going, I'm fine with what I got going. But $30, that's a fucking deal. Naylor, I hardly know her. I would agree. Same thing goes for Tucker. Tucker, I hardly know her. Good evening, Hallie. How we doing? Welcome in, Mr. Lion. Are you a Lions fan, Hallie? Which team do you root for? I'm curious. Are you just NFL fan, or are you a Tyrese Halliburton fan? I can't imagine that's what it is. I think that's just your own thing. Raider fan. Whoa. Wouldn't have guessed that. I mean, they're on the come up. I believe that Tom Brady had a very effective tanking plan last year. They got the #1 overall pick. It worked tremendously. And look where they're at right now. Clint Kubiak, definitely a reason to be excited, along with Mendoza. I'm curious, Hallie, how many games do you think Kirk Cousins will play? What's your take on that? Should we be worried that it's more than 4? Back on the clock here. J-Rock has Josh Allen, who has a Week 7 bye. I think I can push Trevor Lawrence. I might regret it. Oh, damn. Am I actually going to take Chuba Hubbard today? Holy shit. He's finally fallen. No, I'm going to let J-Rock decide on that. No, I'm still going to pass on Chuba here. But it'll be tempting. Should I take Chuba at 86 if he's there? That's a more interesting question. All right, J-Rock. Fuck. I do not want to take him at all. I really don't. But here's the thing. This might literally be my first exposure to Chuba Hubbard in forever. He's not making it back. We'll go Chuba Hubbard today at 86. Finally, a falling price on Chuba. The man that has refused to move down the board. Would have preferred RJ Harvey. He's on the thumbnail. But Rico was taken. Yeah, right? Fuck. I'm curious. I need to know now. What is my exposure on Chuba Hubbard? I'll pull it up separately, and when it's ready, I'll bring it in. Because I'm very curious. This is probably my first share, my first ever click on Chuba Hubbard. Oh, wow. Okay. I took him once. I've taken him one other time for $5. So maybe that's in like... I could see that being in like an eliminator pick, but I must have done it in like a puppy. Wow. Gross. I'm going to be over 1% Chuba after this draft. Gross. At least it's round 8. Finally, a discount on Chuba Hubbard. Yikes. Bo, check out the Toad Venom tree from August. It's fire as fuck. I have no idea what you're talking about. The Toad Venom tree? I might have to Google that separately off stream. I don't know if I trust what's going to pop up. It's probably not. I believe it's fine, but that sounds out of left field. I've heard good things of Lit Farms. I smoke concentrate, so I grab Rosin for like $18.20 a gram. Weed can get expensive. There's some strains of weed that get really fucking pricey. Hallie says Genty and Bowers are my guys. Excited to see some improvement this year. Tony is a Washington Redskins fan. Can we still say that? Is that still are you? Since Dan Snyder left, it's got to be in the past a little bit. But yo, what's up, Batwheat? How we doing? Bass Fishing says Michigan had 28 1-gram pre-rolls for $21. Not bad either, around 30% THC. That's insane. 28 grams for $21 in the pre-roll. I mean, it's got to be a shit ton of shake is what it is. That's hard to believe. That's like a giveaway sale. But yo, what's up, Who Hames? Family soup to you too as well. Shout out Who Hames. If you haven't subscribed to Who Hames yet, check out his YouTube channel. And 2 weeks from today, On July 8th, we will be going up against each other. Me versus Huhames in Best Ball Jeopardy. Excited for that. Was
Oh, it's
watching
very real.
Best Ball Guy and Neil Orfield earlier tonight. That was an
Mm.
interesting game. I was in the chat. There were some answers
Is
I
it
was
real?
firing off the correct
Oh,
answer very
it's me.
quickly. There were some questions I was way off though. I was way
Took
off in the
Braylon.
chat. Like, the answer on one was like Jordan Love. I typed in Caleb. I got mixed up with the interceptions, but there were some other questions I was ripping quick. So we'll see what happens, but I'm very excited for that. All right, I'm not gonna go Kenny Gainwell. We have Chuba today. I'll go Matthew Golden. I can talk myself into Golden in this range. I have T-Law with BTJ. I was kind of hoping for a Jacoby Myers, but not on this one. Myers, though, has some compelling trade outs. Wouldn't be shocked if Myers got traded. I kind of want to take Kyle Pitts, in all honesty. That, I think, would be like my favorite pick around here. Rashad makes some sense, though, and I will feel some pressure later on at running back. In general, I like to ignore that position. So had I not had Tyler Warren, I think I would have just taken Kyle Pitts. I'll let Fannin keep falling. I think Fannin can keep moving down the board, especially without some practice reps under his belt. But for now, the contract signing with Pitts feels like the better, safer click and a very affordable price tag around here. But Rashad White could be one of the best clicks on the board. I take a shit ton of Katron Allen, and I've kind of been realizing he doesn't really catch passes in the way I would like him to. So I should probably just also commit to Rashad, because I just don't think Rashad is going to come off the field for a specific role. But Bazinga, you have two studs. Wide receiver would be nice, but that's a nice drop. I think I had to take Chuba just for the random acquisition of him into my exposure. I have such little shares. If I'm going to get him 14 spots past ADP, it's worth mixing in. He's going at the top of the 7th round, the 6-7 turn. We got him in the 8th round. Yeah, I finally did it, Batwheat. Finally did it. But Hallie, with the answer the question, I think Cousins plays 5 or 6 games. First few games he can manage, but then getting into the Chiefs, Bills, Rams could be where he really struggles. Yeah, they do have a tough stretch in the middle. I'm curious if Mendoza's already on the field at that point, or they're going to want to protect him past those games. But welcome in, Jamie. You are French, at least tonight. I just got my second share of Chuba at pick 86 in my last draft. Yeah, exactly the same thing, no cap. I like where your mind is at. Let's go. That's the spot to take him. He's got to fucking fall. It's been crazy that he has refused to move down the board. The ADP feels so disingenuous, very fake. And I almost took Rico. I probably could have gotten Rico and T-Law, but let's mix it in. For once, we go Chuba at 86. But, yo, what's up, Tynasty? How you doing? Welcome in. What's good with you?
Hey.
J-Rock the party. I've got 2% Chuba, looking to get down to 0.8%. Yeah, I'm officially now at above 1%, just slightly. And that might feel like too much. I'd like to get back in the sub 1% range pretty soon. But, yo, what's up, Disbanded? For you, we're going to blaze it. We have Chuba Hubbard on this team. We probably need to blaze it. What's up, Hartman? With the blunt emoji. Yeah, let's go. Yo, what's up, Jamie? You just tweeted my code? My sign-up code, Blunt? Yeah, on I'll make this pick and then I'll remind everyone. Appreciate that. I really appreciate that. Shakir is here. I'm going to leave him for J-Rock. I don't really want Shakir. If anything, I'd be pissed to get sniped on Travis Hunter. So, he needs receiver even more than I do. He only has 3. I'm expecting him to go Shakir and Kincaid I would like more shares of Kincaid, not going to lie. But we have Trevor Lawrence going to commit a little further into the Brian Thomas Travis Hunter combo. But back around, I could go Goddard, but with Tyler Warren, it's not as critical. My running back position looks great. I don't want Tyrone at this price, neither with Keaton, especially not with Hampton. So Malik Willis today. Let's go, Malik. Don't need to stack him up with anyone. He's a nice little fail-safe. A pretty fair price in the 12th round. No complaints with that. I have seen
Amon Ra is jumping.
Jordan Love falling a lot, but Love went 109. I had Golden. Was never really an option. So I could have taken Kyler just on rankings. He's pretty solid, but for 2 rounds cheaper, the Malik Willis Rashard White combo versus Kyler Murray Tyron Tracy is kind of a big deal. So this team is interesting. Very compelling start so far. And a few picks I'm not that accustomed to making, but it started off very promising. Ashton Genty and Omarion Hampton. You know what's awesome about it? I have this combo a shit ton, and I can guarantee you I do not have a share of it with Chuba Hubbard. That is for sure. This is my first Genty Hampton Chuba roster. No question about that. I also got Rashad White, so in case Chuba doesn't really pay off, I also have a decent RB4. And then top 3 receivers, we're really banking on Neighbors, but not drafting Scared today. I like that this Neighbors team also has Chuba, because those 2 picks could just bury you. If I'm going to take Chuba, why not take it with a very risky player alongside him? But then Ladd, very nice acquisition. Brian Thomas stacked up with T-Law, who's double stacked with Travis Hunter. And then Matthew Golden, hoping for the breakout. Might not hit as wide receiver 3, but also they moved off of Romeo Dobbs and Dontavian Wicks. Matthew Golden, the first round pick. I don't want to give up on. But yo, what's up, Danimal? How we doing? Hope you're doing well. Who Hames working on some more team art right now. Very nice. For the thumbnails, I would assume. That'd be my guess. But yeah, Anthony, just tuned in and you're picking Chuba Hubbard. That's a rare sight. Of all the times to tune in, my reputation is at stake. But I would have been a little tempted, not going to lie, to pair Chuba and Brooks up together. But I kind of like that Shutguard at the 110 sniped me on that decision. Just because if I am going to take Chuba, then the story I need to tell is that Brooks just doesn't work out. Brooks just doesn't work out. But today's opposite day, I suppose. It is a little bit different. For sure. But Bazinga, I think over-under for Mendoza starts is at 8.5 last I checked. Maybe the logic is that he steps in after the tough stretch of games. That would track. I would understand. But I'd probably hit the over on 8.5. If I had to guess, you're getting at least 11, 12 games out of Mendoza. I'd be kind of shocked if it's less than 10. Brenton Strange for the triple stack makes a lot of sense here. Can definitely just call it done with those 2 tight ends.
I think we did
And
the Dak
then
move
one
here.
that's not speaking to me as much. There's one I'm okay with, but at the very least, I'll end up with a receiver I like. I'm not in love with Juwan Jennings, even past ADP here. I think he can go a little further.
Jamison Williams.
So that wasn't really a pick I wanted. And right now, I think I just need to make sure I'm not
Bucky
drafting
Irving.
week 7 by wide receivers. I have 2 at running back, 3 at receiver. I will go with Deebo Samuel.
the play.
But I'm legitimately tempted to take Flournoy. I don't have a ton of Flournoy. He's become expensive. And I'd be pretty shocked if I wound up with the Deebo Samuel Malik Willis stack. So I'm going to mix in Flournoy today. There's some positive camp reports. He's an injury away from 100-yard output. And we know that the Cowboys offense is going to be throwing the ball a shit ton. He will get some very easy coverage. And maybe he has like a Michael Gallup-esque season. You know, maybe we wind up with like 7 or 8 receiving touchdowns out of Flournoy this year. It's possible. I could see Pickens fall off a little bit in that department. CeeDee Lamb had some injury concern last year. Maybe it changes, but I'm afraid you are correct with this statement, Who Hames. I am afraid that he has always been worth more than this, and I am worried that I will fall behind if I do not catch up. So it's actually been a minute since I've taken Flournoy, especially on the channel, and I have a ton of Debo already. So Debo to the Dolphins is possible, but I feel like it'd be pretty lackluster. I feel like he's more likely to chase a ring and end up with like the Rams or someone than go to the Dolphins. So I'm going to avoid hoping on that prayer. Just take someone I think is probably worth. Pick 158 and just scoop him up, because really there's no guarantee that Debo does move up the board. It's been the case with some other players. Like when Juwan Jennings signed, he moved down the board. When some of these other free agents signed, they also moved down the board. Look at David Njoku. There's also a scenario where Debo just settles there, and it was never like, oh, get him now before he's way more expensive. It looks like Flournoy might be the one getting more expensive these days. So I will adjust to the market and maybe concede that I might have been a little bit low on Flournoy this entire time. But I do like other players in this range as well. I take a shit ton of Trey Harris.
Top with the wide receivers, man.
Take a little bit less of that. And especially unstacked. Week
Crazy.
7, I'm glad he came off the board, because I would have been compelled to take Harris again. And it's just not necessary.
Karen Williams just went.
But Chuba Bulls lurking in fear. Right? Are they finally starting to sweat? When you see him go 86, are you finally starting to realize, like, oh, maybe we can just leave him alone and get him much cheaper? Maybe read the room, because the steam has always been rising on Jonathan Brooks. Maybe we can pump the brakes on Chuba Hubbard. All right, tight end I think is done.
Go.
Quarterback, I'm not taking Geno, that's for sure. Nobody else is interesting. Sean Tucker is fine. I think he makes the most sense among the remaining running backs. I already have Rashad White, so I'm not dying to take Katron today. Not on this team. It's not the end of the world, but I'm definitely not reaching on Katron. And there's not many running backs after Katron that I really like. So I'll go Sean Tucker past ADP. He's been a big riser and a decent bet. Jerry Jeudy falls. I've heard a little bit of hype on Jeudy. There's also some trade outs with Jeudy. Perhaps it would open the door on Shador if I felt really desperate. It's cheap as fuck. There's really nothing guaranteed with the rookies. And there's also some trade outs for Jerry Jeudy. So I'm willing to mix him in as much as I mix in Calvin Ridley. And there's elements of this team that I feel are kind of already dead. So I'm taking some extra risk on a little bit with a name like Jeudy, some higher upside, and a little bit more projection on a best case scenario. But maybe he's better than Denzel Boston. I've been taking him a little bit more lately. Maybe Casey Concepcion is overrated. Maybe the $18 million they pay Jerry Jeudy leads to him getting a pretty decent target share. I could still maybe envision 100 targets for Jeudy this season. It is possible. In general, I never take him. So there's been some weird clicks on this team. Some I love, and then some that are just really weird. This is a unique combo. But you're welcome on the Kincaid Shakir acquisition. Might as well, right? Might as well take it. I did not need... I would have been pissed if you sniped me on Travis Hunter. I would have been really fucking pissed. So just get my stack, build out my team as best as it can be, not worry about other people's teams and trying to kneecap others. It can more likely just kneecap yourself. Plus, you would have been more bitter about it and maybe just said, okay, fine, you're not getting Hunter. And I thought the odds of me taking one of the Bills there really increased the chances. I didn't get Travis Hunter. Plus, maybe you would have taken Malik Willis, and I also kind of needed quarterback. So I think win-win ultimately, locking up what I wanted more rather than being spiteful and taking the snipe. Strange playing all over the field this summer could take the biggest leap of all the Jags. It's kind of like the Gunnar Helm argument, but on a team we like way, way more. There's a crowded receiving room. We're not quite sure where the ball's going to go and how many routes and snaps other people are going to play. But look at the depth chart at tight end. There is no one behind him. It's very obvious he will be on the field. So, like Brenton Strange for the price, definitely solid. Pretty sweet. But disbanded Brotherhood, Cowboys D going to be a lot better this season. You would hope so, but Matt Eberflus is still their coach. Anything can happen. I wouldn't lock it in. They're still the Cowboys, but at least Demarion Overshone should be healthy. That is actually a huge asset for them. But their secondary still kind of dog shit. They should be better, though, at stopping the run. Last season, though, indeed, they were absolute garbage. But how's it going, Steve? Nice to see you popping in this evening. I enjoyed Best Ball Jeopardies this just a couple hours ago. Enjoyed watching that over on Fanspeak Network. And if you haven't subscribed to Fanspeak Network, go over there, give them a subscription, and check out my collab tomorrow with Steve O Speak. Steve Schaub will be hosting me on the Fanspeak tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern. Gonna be lit. All right, I'm on the clock, and yikes. I'm kind of leaning into just players I don't normally grab. I'll go Cooper Kupp. Fuck it. Definitely need some production. And Cooper Kupp, I'm worried about getting hurt. He's really just a floor play in general. But I have Travis Hunter. I want to lock up some points. And then not much guaranteed with these guys. Final round, though, I'm going to stop with Tyler Warren, Brenton Strange.
I like it. We're going to go Sam Laporta, Jared Goff with the next two, hopefully.
I might mix in Shador. It feels gross. But I think running back is good
Guys
enough.
got 4 running backs, bro.
And there's a lot of elements on this team that feel gross as fuck in the first place. But I believe week 1, Deshaun Watson will be the quarterback, and inevitably Shador will take over. I'm a little worried Shador loses his job at some point. But I think with those weapons and just the nature of league interest, I think the media will kind of run with the story again like they did last year. For whatever reason, they have to talk about Shador in the media. So I think inevitably Shador gets on the field, and I think Deshaun is just so washed, he will close out the season as the Browns quarterback one. So I have Judy. This team is weird. It's not my favorite team. There's elements of it I love, and then there's just a bunch of picks that are just trying to get different. But once we took Chuba, it was like, all right, this is just going to be a different team. But there's a lot of elements that can hit. I like the receiver room, especially if Neighbors is right. Neighbors and Chuba. Whoa. Let's see. But could totally be worth it if I'm just wrong, especially on Chuba. Lad McConkey, though, BTJ, good depth at receiver. Golden hoping for the breakout. Hunter hoping for the breakout. Flournoy been getting some hype. I'll probably take him a little bit more often. Now that I took him here and it felt appropriate, I'll probably try to mix him in a little more. Given the camp hype, he probably moves up quickly. But then Judy and Kupp could be solid depth pieces. I don't think there's, a reason to be terrified, but possibly just massive floor plays that never go over 10 points. Not expecting more than like 2 or 3 touchdowns, honestly, from either of them. So never take them, but we do today. And then Tyler Warren, Brenton Strange. Tight end room feels very good, though. Running back is solid. Quarterback with T-Law, Malik Willis, Shador could be fine. T-Law should contend for top 5 status at certain times, especially if he gets another 9 rushing touchdowns. But then Malik Willis either is great or terrible, and then we know it's all or nothing as well with Shador. But I don't trust Deshaun to keep him off the field. So we will get some starts out of Shador. And last year he had like at least one blow-up game with like 25 plus points. I think there will be a couple, maybe 3 instances where Shador could throw like 1 or maybe 3 touchdowns 1 or 2 times. But John Tara, I remember you roasting me for the same quarterback room. I mean, look, John Tara. It appropriately deserves to get roasted. You are trying to zig when other people are zagging, but like this is a team I just normally don't have. There's investments that I just normally don't take, and so that's where I'm willing to like. All right, there's some elite shots, and then some that are just crazy enough to maybe work, and maybe I've just been ignoring them for so long. Let's take a gamble, just because it's finally a team with Chuba. I care less about it. So, yes, do I believe in this team as much as like a typical roster with some of these clips? Not as much. I will say that quarterback is definitely on the grosser side, no doubt about it. But there are some high upside elements. The starting roster could be great, and it's possible I just have such a good running back duo here. I don't even need Chuba. You know, it's possible Chuba doesn't matter in my playoff lineup. I could still advance, and he never matters in the first place. But fun team, interesting team, different team, and it's definitely unique. Game Tight is in this lobby, so is Super Beast. We also have A-Rod and Chad, and then I don't think J-Rock is a member. No, he is not. So let me pull y'all up. I'm probably going to like most of your teams better than mine. More likely than not. But not every team can be perfect. That is also true. But Terrion Arnold mugshot is up. He's cooked. Is Terrion Arnold in jail as well? The Lions defense can never catch a break. But yeah, we love Steve over here. Excited for tomorrow. And the last couple teams I've drafted with Steve, we drafted a Pit Bull together. We drafted a BBM together. Both of them I think are great. I'm excited for what we cook up on his channel. T-Law Willis as a duo, bold stuff. Yeah, not my favorite. But Cheers Jog just had my weed tea. Let's do it. I have never done weed tea. Is it effective? Do you like actually feel it? Right now is the play the scenario out in your head. Yeah, we got to tell ourselves some stories here. We got to get a little delusional with some of these picks. Double elite RB and elite tight end. You did well to solidify receiver. At least structurally, I think it checks out. Player take wise, we'll see. But laugh if you want. GM. Let's get money tonight, Mr. Mufasa. Appreciate it. Might as well do some LSD, shrooms, or DMT. If you can get your hands on it, I suppose. Jordan James, the league winner, goes undrafted. Sad face. Yeah, I did consider him. I queued him up, but not today. I've been talking myself a little bit more into Christian McCaffrey. I've drafted Jordan James, a lot of Kalen Black. Maybe not as much Kalen Black, but definitely.
How's Matthew Stafford still there?
So I've been pumping the brakes on that a little bit and just kind of telling myself maybe I should play it a little bit more often, as if CMC just stays on the field. But
how's Matthew Stafford still there?
Shroom tea, not at this hour. Honestly, shrooms at this hour is my favorite. Like to do them at night, in all honesty. But T-Law has MVP upside. If you want some weak rooms led by T-Law, it's no problem. Yeah, the chance that he really delivers can't be understated. He could finish in the top 3. But sometimes he's worth passing on. I've seen him fall into the hundreds a couple times pretty recently. And over the months, I've seen it like maybe 5 or 6 times in the hundreds. A-Rod said, quarterback did not go my way this draft. Sorry, Niner, for the Purdy snipe. All right, let's review some teams. Let's take a look. We have Game Tight. Sorry for the delay. But a Goff team from the 101, that's kind of common. But paired up with Baker and Shuck, a little less common. But they all are basically ADP. Gibbs with Goff is what I'm talking about. Just pretty common, but I mentioned it on the channel a few times. The most common is a Goff and Hertz combo from the 101. Seen that a bunch of times. At least it's not that. But Jeremiah Love, Travis Achan, Jalen Warren, and B-Rob. So player take-wise, I'm not in love with Jeremiah or Jalen Warren. But for Warren to be your fourth, Travis to be your third, is a very good running back room, and that in and of itself is a strength. But a lot of draft capital spent up top. Let's see how the rest of it shakes out. Jamo, wideout number 1. That's a little shaky, pretty untrustworthy from a week-to-week basis, but in best ball, I suppose. Harrison is gross. McMillan, number 3, is a massive risk. Trey Tucker, number 4, Tesla stacked. So I guess this team needs Amon-Ra to get hurt. Good luck with that. Ted Hurst stacks up as well. Von Vele. So yeah, receiver looks punted. And it's because you have Loveland and Laporta. Yikes. I do not think this is safe at all. Running back, like I said, a couple player takes I don't enjoy. So in that regard, not my favorite build. Yeah, I think the board may have punished you a little bit. Needed some more receivers. I think you really needed receivers. This is tricky.
Running back, wide
Good
receiver
luck.
here.
If you thread the needle on this, man, that'd be impressive. But good luck is all I have to say to that. Super Beast in the house. Rocco, if you are... I'm pretty sure that's Rock Hard Castle. I don't think you're a member. But if you are, leave anything in the comments. Just so I see the green. But I'm pretty sure you're not. I'm too lazy to scroll up and double check right now. But who took Christian McCaffrey a few times? Wow. You didn't have a guest on. Did Steve make you take Christian McCaffrey? I know you were on with Steve earlier. But I don't think you drafted McCaffrey. I was a little busy, so I kind of chimed in and out while I was watching, but it's about time. See, who Hames? It's about time. Yeah, when I draft a shit ton of teams, I'm willing to have one like mine. That's just much different. But Chad likes my team. We'll see about that. Bo Nix, Sam Darnold, and Kirk Cousins from the Super Beast. Keith
That's a weird play, right?
103. That's okay. Cousins, though, early season production, not much late season. So when the money is made, don't think Cousins helps you very much. But might start more games than we expect. Maybe 5 or 6, if we're listening to the Raiders fan in the chat. Javonte at 27, pulled him up a little bit. Travion Henderson and Tony Pollard, solid. Nothing wrong with that. Bigsby and Singleton, the all-or-nothing bets. I think a little important that Bigsby does smash on this team. Because Travion could be a little tricky, and then Pollard could just be more of a floor play again, like he was last year. But if Javonte stays healthy, that should be fine. Running back isn't, like, insane, but I wouldn't say it's bad. I like Pollard where you took him. So for him to be number 3, I'm saying that checks out. That's all right. But Travion, the big gamble, worth it. Jamar Chase, Jalen Waddle, Bo Nix on this team makes it a much better pick. Metcalf and Michael Pittman set up the double Rodgers, did not take it. Might have gotten sniped, but Wan'Dale Robinson and Stephon Diggs. So Diggs as wide receiver 6 feels pretty strong, especially on a Jamar Chase team. And then both Steelers, they're both solid values. Pittman, though, definitely the more exciting of the two. And then Denzel Boston, the random Browns rookie. Fair. You have Bowers on this one, so justifies the Kirk Cousins a little bit more. A.J. Barner and Kate Otten. I know you get a big discount on Otten, but I'm fine with just Bowers and Barner. I'm fine with that. I think I'd like another running back, honestly. Running back doesn't feel amazing. And I love Bigsby. I'm someone that's really high on Bigsby. But 2 Titans. Here's the thing. The bet on Singleton is kind of a fade on Pollard. It's not just strictly a fade on Tajay. So that's where running back also gets a little bit more mid. Because if Singleton slots in for Pollard, how many games is he going to outproduce what Pollard was giving you as well? So running back scares me enough where I think I'd like a number 6, and then quarterback is also a little mid with Cousins. But a very good stack with Bo Nix and Jalen Waddle. Excuse me. All right, Super Beast. Not bad. Let's take a look at A-Rod's team. Underdogs Anonymous drafted Brock Purdy, Geno Smith, and Brissett. I'm not taking Brisket. I'm not taking Geno. This quarterback room is pretty much all Brock Purdy. But you did mention quarterback did not go your way in this draft. So you did snipe without him stacked up yet. But Derrick Henry, Bucky Irving. We'll see on Bucky, but at that price, I should probably have a few more shares of Bucky, honestly, in the mid-50s. Ramondre Stevenson, Isaiah Pacheco, Tyjae Spears, and Braylon Allen. Player take-wise, a little gross, but might just be wrong on Bucky, might just be wrong on Ramondre personally. Maybe it's much better than I think, but not in love with these three. That's for sure.
I think a double wide receiver.
I don't take them really ever. Amon-Ra, Chris Olave, Garrett Wilson, Tyson, Josh Downs, Shaheed, and Stribling. I like Downs as the 5th. Shaheed is the 6th. Pretty solid there. And then Stribling does stack up. The late back stack. That could be worthless, but did draft him early enough to believe in it. They at least have to see what they got. He'll be on the field at some point. You would hope so. But Fannin and Kelsey. Solid, maybe not elite, but Fannin at 114. I don't blame you. Neither do I blame you on Kelsey at 127. Both unstacked, though. Only Garrett Wilson is stacked on this team. Like, the Jacoby Brissett makes no fucking sense other than just getting, like, completely boxed out at the position. So, brutal quarterback room. Not too fond of running backs. Receiver is good. And then tight end is also good. But I don't feel like at any position. Not my favorite team, Underdog. I think I like my team a little bit more. But Niners fan Chad says he likes my team as well more than his. Let's take a look. He's got Lamar and Jaden Daniels. So the double elite QB in rounds 5 and 6. Happy you stopped with that, but no one can probably beat that if they stay healthy. CMC at pick 8. Devon Achane paired up. Scattaboo RB3. Rodriguez number 4. And then my boy, Trevor Achane. Love to see it. Love the running back room. Very fun. Phenomenal, honestly. But receiver has Flowers stacked up. Cortland Sutton number 2. A little gross. Addison number 3. Kind of risky, but high upside. And then Pearsall. Your Niners stack did not work out. But Deebo Samuel, Antonio Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and Brandon Ayuk, very fun, legit receiver room. A little bit lacking in terms of just like elite weaponry. The arsenal is more about depth than being top heavy. But tight end with Kittle, Goddard, and Okonkwo. So you got a little bitter. You built out your Niners despite not having Purdy. You did not give a shit. And honestly, I don't know if you should have taken Purdy when you have Lamar and Jaden. It makes sense not to. But I would like perhaps... You have Chig. Never mind. I was going to say, I would prefer another Jaden stack other than Antonio Williams. But you have Chig. That's solid. And then Lamar is paired up with Flowers. No issue with that. So pretty legit team. Love the running back room. Love the quarterback room. Receiver is kind of mid, as kind of gross, honestly, but also potentially competitive. Tight end works though. Tight end is great. It's just, can receiver cover you in the right weeks? Because there is some tremendous risk here. Sutton could massively fall off. Flowers can only score another 4 touchdowns. Addison could only have like 3 big games in a crowded Kyler Murray offense. Deebo might not go to the right landing spot. Antonio could fall down the board tremendously if the Commanders sign like Stephon Diggs or someone. Jeremy, a rookie with Aaron Rodgers, historically isn't the best bet, but I'd still click him myself. And then Ayuk might just not play. So receiver has a lot of pitfalls. Let's just keep it real. But worth the risk. A high risk tolerance there, and then a really elite roster everywhere else. Very fun. No issue with the approach. My team also took on some risk. So that's it for the members. Rock Hard Castle, though, is boasting. I'm definitely advancing out of this pod. Let's take a look. Herbert, Dart, Rodgers. Very fair. I'm not gonna protest. Herbert at 74. Notable, but I stand by it. Bijan, Monty, and Bishal Tootin. So I like the RB1 with Bijan and the double tap on running back rounds 4 and 5. Like that strategy. And then Samson, Katron. I don't like Samson too much, but cheap enough to tolerate. And then Katron, one of my favorite clicks. Super, super late. Love the running back room. So far, so good. Pickens, Devontae, Quentin Johnston stacked up. You took Myers at 98, kind of mid. Concepcion 119, kind of mid. Omar Cooper, potentially someone that falls down the board a lot if this AD Mitchell news is true. But very talented. Not going to call him mid. Just a little risky. And then Darnell Mooney, all or nothing bet, but very interesting. And then Isaiah Likely, Aronde Gadsden, Pat Fryermuth. This is definitely a team I would have built myself. I have no issue with it, other than maybe Myers and Concepcion, where you took them. Who else was on the board? I'm definitely Pearsall over Myers. And then I don't know if I would have pulled up Diggs had I gone receiver there. So yeah, all checks out, honestly. The QJ Herbert stack at 6-7 makes perfect sense. It's totally fine. Yeah, I got no complaints. I've boasted about this is the way to start with Gibbs or Bijan. Running back in round 1, at the 2-3 turn, double tap whiteout, get 2 really strong guys that you like, 2 in the top 12, and then grab running backs.
And it's Gemini! Let's go save some lives.
So we hop in his draft and not draft him. Is that toxic?
X at the 4 or 5 turn get a little bit different. Then you can ignore the position for a very long time. And grabbing values, trusting your ranks at the quarterback position. I like not taking Hurts there. I like going Quentin Johnston, Herbert. Rocco, I'll be honest, I like this team a lot. This is definitely a team I would draft. And even the pull-up on Likely pays off and makes a lot of sense. I think you did nail this draft. Maybe Cooper, not my favorite click, but compared to everyone else, totally fine. I don't think I would have pulled up Trey Harris at 146, but maybe that's the only other move that you could get super nitpicky about. I would have gone B-Rob over Samson personally, but like, yeah, this is such a minute difference. Very few instances would I change anything. Nice team, Rocco. And then he's the only other one who drafted with us, so I might as well also take a look at J-Rock. I'm also interested in J-Rock's team, but Keith, the big shooter, short-stopped me on Rodgers. Where'd he take Rodgers? 170. Unstacked, but Rodgers a good value, and he did backstack him with Fryermuth. Totally checks out. Okay, back to J-Rock to party, then we'll draft. Oh, did the poll not post? Shit. I totally thought I had a poll going. Am I mistaken? All right, well, I refreshed that. I thought I had a poll going. Oh, yeah, we do have a poll, and it says Poodle. We're drafting a Poodle next. Okay. Good to know. I did not see that on my thing. Had to refresh. All right, J-Rock to party. I gave him Allen and a bunch of stacks. Wanted to be nice. Didn't want to force bad clicks on my team. But he has Allen, Jordan Love, Kenneth Walker, James Cook, Rico Dowdle, Kenny Gainwell, and Jaden Blue. Very fun. Happy to see that type of running back room. Totally fine with that. Love Rico as the third and Kenny G as the fourth. Burden, Carnell Tate, Christian Watson, Khalil Shakir. Shakir as number 4, while Luther Burden is number 1. This receiver room is not the most envious I've seen. Jawan Jennings, Trey Harris, like that click. Malik Washington, pretty mid. Wick, some breakout potential, but maybe some extra competition. He just doesn't quite get on the field. And the Keon Coleman desperation swing, I suppose it does make sense. And then Tucker Kraft and Kincaid, love the tight end stacks on this one. Love the 2 quarterbacks, 2 tight ends. Running back is good enough to only have 5, but despite having 9 receivers, I still don't love it. At least you got the volume. In that regard, you cannot complain. But there's something about this I don't feel great about. But ultimately, Burden, Carnell Tate, Christian Watson could be a hyper-productive trio. And if you only get one other guy to spike and step into your lineup, you'll be cooking, because I think your running back room is going to be productive. So a very nice team. Honestly, this is one of my preferred teams. Receiver doesn't scare me enough to be panicked, but I could see this team advance as well. I think maybe both of the Rocks have 2 of the best rosters in this one. I like mine, though. You know, I don't love my quarterback room, but I think it's good enough to maybe skirt by. And then everything else I think is interesting, but the Chuba click makes it gross. And then, you know, we got some interesting weird clicks overall. But my team's going to compete. I think I can finish top 4. I'm not totally convinced about top 2, though. This is not my favorite team I've ever drafted. All right, we're going to be answering the poll. The Poodle has spoken. The Poodle is the request. And let me get the chat back on screen. I had to refresh, so my overlay did time out. And I have to put that back in. But, all right, we're back. Rock Hard Castle, I watch all the time, but can't join. I spend all my cash on gambling. That's fair. Got to be wise with the bankroll. But, all right, let me pull it up. We'll give y'all a little bit of time just to get situated, just so everyone has a fair chance. But, J-Rock, CMC feels gross on Underdog, palatable on DK. Where does he go on DK? Is he like 4 picks later? Pick 10, it's like a no-brainer. But, Chad, outside of injury, why is it so gross to take a 100-catch RB? Yeah, I mean, that's the only argument you can make to not take him. CNC would be the 101 combo if he had no injury concerns. Maybe not that high. He is much older than Bijan and Gibbs. I think he could be the 103 potentially, but I wouldn't say he could be the 101 at this point in his career. Last year, his efficiency fell off the map. Nice breakdown. Appreciate it, Disbanded. Got desperate at quarterback. It happens sometimes. I kind of did too. But Bucky falling in the late 60s on DK. I've seen him in the 60s on Underdog, but not that often. That's good to know. But Bucky in full PPR, not sure I feel better or worse about it, to be honest with you. But Game Tight took both my quarterbacks. Dynasty, I don't mind. Naked Brisket. Solely from an advance rate lens, given he probably won't be playing in the running back playoffs, but he had a real solid stretch of production last year. That last year was last year. I don't believe in him, but yeah. I suppose every now and then. I don't do it, though. All right, I'm hopping into the Poodle, and we're hopping in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go. But Manchester dancing to the oldies. Yeah, I would say Rockhard had a pretty solid team. I get pick 11 again. once again. At least this one's not going to have Chuba, I would assume. That's probably not going to happen. But we got Brilsey at the 101. John Tara is in here getting a team review. Mez in your face at the 103. Underdogs Anonymous A-Rod getting a team review from the 4 slot. We got Spurs G. Yo, what's up, Anthony? You are in this one. It's been a minute since we drafted with you, but nice to see you hopped in this lobby. Let's go. Let's go. Game tight in, as always. We got Sanka in here, and then Colton Slavey at pick 8. Jedi Loco at the 109. Niners fan at the 10. And then Batwheat right next to him at pick 12. So the only team I do not recognize is the 101 on the clock, Brilsey, and the 103, Mez in your face. But good luck, everyone. We have 10 out of 12 that I know for a fact are watching. Shown up well tonight. John Tara just voted in one from 50 minutes ago. Voted in what? Dude, I have no idea. Gonna need Watson to stay healthy. I mean, for my team not to pay off, or are you talking about Christian Watson? I would imagine you're probably talking about Christian Watson. But yo, Michael Gomez coming in with the Blunt Rotation membership. Appreciate you for joining. That deserves a rip from the pipe. Are you Mez in your face? Are you the 103? Because I could see Michael Gomez possibly turning into Mez. But appreciate it. As always, members get their teams reviewed. Anytime you're drafting with me, you will get my thoughts. But I see a Niner. I see a John Tara. I see a Jedi Loco. And once again, I am met with the same option, but I suppose today I'll just take CeeDee Lamb. For a second, I thought Genty was top ADP again, but I was mistaken. CeeDee Lamb's still there. I'll mix it in. Pick 11, falls 2 spots. I'm not fully convinced he's worth it. He is definitely my wide receiver 6 in the first round, but I could see him fall off again. Could see injuries pose a problem, but my boy Hampton makes it a nice consolation prize. I'm definitely not taking Achane. I wouldn't mind a Ken Walker start, but if Hampton is available, Hampton is by far my highest rank. So we are in a decent spot. A 1-pick fall on Hampton, a 2-pick fall on Lamb, and at the 1-2 turn, that is valuable. It's not the most common thing to happen. 3 picks of falling ADP value in the top 15 could be equivalent to like a full round and a half in some of the later rounds. Up top, the ADP fallers are much more valuable, but Rockhard Castle got the Overflow 101, so I suppose you're not taking home this lobby, but good luck in that one. Game Tight pulled up Genty and gets a very easy combo to acquire. He has Genty and Walker, but still, he's going to have a much better pick on paper at 30 overall as opposed to like 35. Someone who would take Genty, Ken Walker at the 111 would have a much different build than someone who has Genty Walker out of the 106. So totally fair to scoop up that value. Getting different with Genty, always a fine idea. But Bowers falls to pick 23 in this. I like Bowers over pretty much all of the round 2 receivers personally. So that's a really nice price for John Tara at pick 23. Very fair to start off Bijan Bowers. But Brilsey goes Gibbs, Jeremiah Love, and Rashee Rice. I do think Rashi's worth the pick. Not sure about Jeremiah Love, but that's my personal take. I could be wrong. But is anyone commentating the Overflow draft? It's not me. I'll tell you that. It's not me. But be careful. Spurs G is a donkey that snipes naked quarterbacks that make no sense to his team. Rockhard Castle has gotten really livid at some of Spurs' choices throughout these lobbies in the past. If anyone can make Rock Hard Castle crash out, it would be Anthony Spurs G. The bane of his existence. But Mark Twain TV says, boss, what are the odds Pickens gets a bigger deal this offseason?
They don't need to know that I'm commentating the Everflow draft.
You're telling me like September 2nd, September 3rd, we see that happen? Wouldn't shock me at all. That's just kind of how Jerry Jones rolls. So I would say 50-50. He probably doesn't play out strictly on the franchise tag.
Definitely take Kyron there.
I find it hard to imagine that Jerry Jones is not going to overspend on a player. So I'd say it's probably more likely to happen than not. But highest ranked for me is T. Higgins. I'll stick with T. Higgins. I took Ladd on the last one, so give me a reason not to take him here, Batwheat. There we go. Ladd at 36 might be correct, but T. Higgins is also one of the correct choices, I believe, in the third round. Not upset with that whatsoever. Here, though, would have considered Allen had he been there. I don't want Tet. I don't want Garrett Wilson. I'm not dying to take Igbuka or Burden today. I will take Scatabo. We took Neighbors on the last one. Let's go Scatabo. Not afraid of some of the injury risk in New York. I like their schedule a lot. A fourth place schedule with some very winnable games. I think for that reason, even with some early season troubles, the Giants will be contending for a winning record and possibly the division. I think they're going to be a fun offense down the stretch, especially if Neighbors and Scatabo are healthier than we think. But Mac Nova, for a long time, I did not like streams because I thought I would ruin my algorithm. It doesn't like this stream. Appreciate it, Mac Nova. Glad you're a fan. Try to keep it entertaining. Try to keep it popping. And also, when I started doing these, the idea of just smoking weed and drafting teams sounded pretty chill. But I think I forgot to rip the pipe for Michael. I apologize. I think I was like on the clock. So let's take a rip for our new blunt rotation member, Michael Gomez. Not sure if you are Mez in your face. Don't see a comment from you, but cheers, bro. Thank you for joining. I appreciate it. Are we laughing at Scatabo? You don't like that pick, Anthony? I like it. Jantara was hoping if he fell. There's no way Scatabo's fallen to you at 47. I don't think that's going to happen. I wouldn't expect that. But Jantara back on the clock. Has Bijan, Bowers, Devontae, Mike Evans. I like running back here a lot, but not completely necessary. Bowers there. Excuse me, Travion. Travion there. I think is a fine decision. Some high risk, but high reward with Travion. All right, so I have a poll currently up, but that is for draft number 2. I'm going to end this poll because I will assure you, draft number 3 is going to be an eliminator. We will be drafting an eliminator tonight. I can assure you that. I need to fill the entries on the challenge. So we're going to draft one more eliminator before the night is over. The question will be if we draft a 4th. I'll hop into one more poodle if we hit 50 likes. 50 likes for draft number 4. Here, I'm pretty clearly DJ Moore. Sorry, Batwheat. I know you're going to be pissed on the snipe, but this I just believe is absolutely the correct pick. I am still DJ Moore over BTJ, and you might take both. I think you're. Oh no, you go Price. Sweet. I still get BTJ regardless. Love that. Love that for me. Sweet. Receiver is very strong. Running back is very strong. And while maybe round 6 is a better spot for quarterback, I can still piece it together with some remaining options. I'm not completely afraid of what remains. But Chad upset because I messed up his Dallas and New York stack up. I mean, I also have a Dallas and Giants stack, so I think I'm just building out mine. I don't think I'm really messing up yours intentionally. If I had to guess, you will snipe me on Dak Prescott at 82. If I had to guess, that's what's coming up. Legitimately, I was not thinking of your team at all. I promise you that was really not what I was thinking about. I just like Scattaboo here regardless. And then I have my own Dallas Giants bring back as well. But gotcha. All right, so we have 38 likes. Like I said, if we get 50 likes, I'll do draft number 4. But if we're on pace to hit that pretty quickly, then I'll put up a poll on which one you want me to draft first. Do you want me to do the Poodle first or the Eliminator first? Because I would imagine y'all probably want to see another Poodle. So 50 likes triggers draft number 4, which then triggers the poll question, and you can decide if we'll draft a Poodle or Eliminator next. But if not, I'm just hopping into the Eliminator, getting in so I can claim my free entry because we activated the promo yesterday. Why do I dislike Marvin Harrison so much? I just don't like taking the Arizona Cardinals. I don't want to give my excuse for stacking Jacoby Brissett. I don't think it's a good click at all. And I think Harrison isn't more valuable than Quentin Johnston. So until he goes after Quentin Johnston, not excited about that. I don't think he's that much more valuable than Jaden Reed. In terms of total points, I could see Jaden Reed outscore him. And in best ball, I think Jaden Reed has a higher ceiling than Harrison. So I think he can fall a legitimate full round and still not be the best click on the board. Like the way that Michael Wilson fell, I think we can see at least half of that on Marvin Harrison. I'm fine to let Trey McBride settle in the 3rd round if that's really where he's going to go. I suppose it's all right. But I do not believe in their offense enough to the point where I know what I'm going to get with Harrison in the first place, and that the pieces in Arizona can elevate him to be worth that price. I think he can still bust at that price. That wheat has the Cook stack, so all good. It does feel great to get DJ Moore, though, but do I just take Herbert? I have Hampton. I think that's probably the move, because I don't think you're taking running back, and I think that's the position I want to grab. So I'll go Herbert here for the stack. I was kind of talking myself into potentially going with Patrick Mahomes, but here I'm going to go RJ Harvey. He is on the thumbnail. I didn't get him in the first draft, so for the vibes, for the good omen, I'll go RJ Harvey. And then I have noticed that Bo Nix is falling. Bo Nix is consistently going in the 10th round, I've noticed. And so there is a slight chance that just having a Denver Bronco on this side of the board will justify even more scooping up the Bo Nix discount that I've seen so frequently. Now, Jedi Niner just took Cortland Sutton, so not sure if that's going to work out. But at the very least, I have a shit ton more of Rico Dowdle versus RJ Harvey. And true upside, I think, is pretty comparable. I'd rather go Rico Dowdle in a vacuum. But for the sake of exposures, for the sake of the potential stack, and for the sake of the thumbnail, today we go RJ Harvey at pick 86. Glad it wasn't Chuba Hubbard. Honestly, I think RJ Harvey is probably more valuable than Chuba Hubbard, but need to get me some Warren exposure. You might hate it. The Jalen Warren exposure or the Tyler Warren exposure? If I had to guess, you took Jalen in this draft, John Tara, so that's who you're talking about. I am pretty low on Jalen Warren. I will admit that. There is a chance it comes back to haunt me, but I don't think it's going to kill me. Jalen Warren typically has a pretty low ceiling, and I'm not convinced there's going to be enough 20-point games for him to bury me. He might hit the lineup with some 13, 14, 15 pointers a little more often than I expect, but true ceiling, give me Rico Dowdle in that offense. But Rockhard Castle, I'm from San Antonio, and I typically would never besmirch a fellow Spurs fan, but that dude is a mouth. Damn. Some tough words. I did not say it. I just read this. These are not my personal takes. But I know that Rockhard Castle has gotten livid in the chat from Anthony's decisions before. But, oh, hey, I went to college in San Antonio. Upside ceiling case for Marv is 10, 15 touchdowns. I don't see that. In Arizona? No fucking chance. No way. 10, 15 touchdowns? A Devontae Adams level showing out of Marv? Fuck that. I'll take those odds all day. Give me the under on that. No fucking chance. I mentioned it in the last draft. I'm Ricky Pearsall here over Jacoby Myers, so I'll stick with my ranks on that. I'll go Ricky Pearsall. I'm thinking this one through. I don't want to go Jacoby Myers because it's another week 7 bye. It'd be my third. And it's not the end of the world. I have CeeDee Lamb, T. Higgins, and Ricky Pearsall with different bye. But building out running back with RJ Harvey not being like the most consistent, I think is wise. And Rachaad White could just be one of the best clicks on the board. Rachaad White might still be very underpriced. But what's up, Shamrock? How we doing? How's this draft going? Let's recap it. I pulled the 111 for the second time in a row tonight. I got CeeDee Lamb in round 1. We paired him with Hampton. Love that combo. T. Higgins and Cam Scatabo in the 3-4. We got the Scatabo CeeDee Lamb bring back in week 17. But then DJ Moore at 59. Sniped him from the Josh Allen drafter just in time. We also got BTJ, one of my favorite clicks in the 6th round. And then Herbert stacked up with Hampton. We'll see about some back stacks later, but that stack could just get it done entirely. Might be fine with just that. RJ Harvey on the thumbnail, probably correctly worth an 8th round pick. I'm not afraid in the 8th round as much as I used to be, but Ricky Pearsall at 107, possibly a massive steal. If he can stay healthy, this should work out very nicely. And then Rachaad White, just a really clutch value pick. I drafted him in the last draft as well as my RB4. I like the way that team panned out with Rachaad as RB4, but no fucking chance. Yeah, no fucking chance on Harrison with 15 possible touchdowns. Like maybe 10 is the true ceiling, but 15, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, maybe 6 or 8. He had 8 his rookie year. 8 is the best case scenario, in my opinion. Going back to rookie season Harrison with 8 touchdowns.
A little brutal.
But yikes. Double that, I wouldn't bet on it. Maybe if all the defense players against him are handcuffed. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's very optimistic in garbage time. But be awesome if BTJ bounces back this year. I would bet on it. I've been betting on it. I definitely took him
Don't take Jake
to
Ferguson.
outscore Parker Washington. Shout out Jerry Football, friend of the channel. But yeah, it'd be fucking lit. Almost got Tyler Shuck on the way back. Damn, that would have been sweet. I will, I think, take Dalton Kincaid though. Sorry for sniping you here. But kind of wanted him on the last team. I don't have a tight end yet, and I like my receiving room a lot. So apologies. I just think it's probably worth taking. It's one of the correct picks, but I could build out that Giants-Cowboys game again. I don't really want to take a quarterback here. None of them feel that good. I'm just trusting the Herbert MVP case. I'll go Isaiah Likely. I got a shit ton of Goddard, Kincaid, and Likely. Truly elite upside. Could be top 5 any given week, respectively. Could also finish outside the top 25 any given week, respectively. But that's just how it goes at tight end, and worth the risk. If Gadsden makes it back, I'll take Gadsden, but I don't really want to reach on Gadsden at 134 just to ensure the Herbert combo. I'd rather take the gamble that he falls back at 155. I don't think it'll happen, but I've seen it happen at least once or twice. It is possible, but for the value, I like
If
Tyrone
Tyrone Tracy falls to me, I'm taking him.
quite a bit at the moment. But just got Bo Nix at 120. You were not lying. Yeah, Bo Nix has been falling. Not today. Brillsy might be watching, but he had Waddle and didn't want to risk it. He took Bo Nix and Jackson Dart at the 8-9 turn. But Bo Nix is starting to get slept on.
Hunter
Bo
Henry.
Nix has been trickling
Don't
down.
do it
He's
to
a
me.
very good price in the 10th. But Shadow Days Gaming says LOL. I imagine this is our Harrison discussion, but John Tara says, my team is really gross. You have Hurts with Devontae Smith, Purdy with Evans. You have Bowers on that one, so sometimes it can get tough. But running back has Bijan, Travion, and Jalen Warren. For a Bijan team, that's a little sad. But Travion could just hit so well. It's great. You have Jordan Mason on top of that. That's not that exciting. Not the most compelling running back room other than Bijan, Travion. But carry some risk. And then Devontae Smith, Evans, Pittman, Romeo Dobbs, Trey Tucker. It's fine. Pittman, our wide receiver 3, though, is kind of... If he gets hurt, you might be screwed. You're counting a lot on Michael Pittman. But Dobbs should help you out quite a bit. Purdy needs to stay healthy, but Hurts typically does pay off. It's fine. I wouldn't complain about it too much. You're setting up a Mendoza with Bowers and Trey Tucker. I hope you get it on the way back around. Hopefully the Nailer drafter doesn't say, fuck you. But who's going to throw him 16 touchdowns? And I'll draft that guy 3rd round. Never fucking happen. Yeah, never fucking happening, I think is the correct take. McBride had 11 and Wilson had 7, so definitely can see at least 10. Maybe. It's too optimistic for my liking, though. But any sleepers you think may shine this year? Yeah, I'm about to take one. I think I'm just going to take him first. I'm going to grab Trey Harris first here. I will do that. Trey Harris, I think, is going to pop. As long as they don't sign Keenan Allen, then I think all systems go for Trey Harris as the clear number 3 wideout. In a good offense, maybe not like elite production, but I think he will pop. I think he will shine. That's one name, but that's more of a biased stance. Definitely my favorite team. But here, I am huge on Tank Bigsby. It's an all or nothing bet. So if Saquon never gets hurt, then everyone can say, I told you so. But if I stop with Bigsby, I feel really good about the team. However, I just remembered my quarterback room only has Herbert so far. So I'm going to leave Mendoza. I don't have the stack to justify Mendoza. I want to lock up 17 games. And at 158, I really do not expect Aaron Rodgers to circle back to me. Wouldn't trust that at all. The Metcalf drafter game tight does have 3 quarterbacks, though. He has Baker, Malik Willis, and Daniel Jones. But then the Pittman drafter has Hurts and Brock Purdy. He may not get Mendoza, so he could just snipe me on Rodgers. And then there's also the Rico Dowdle drafter right in front of me, the Jalen Warren drafter. Oh, right. John Tyra has Warren and Pittman, so definitely in the cards for him to consider. I don't think Rodgers making it back at 179 was a guarantee. So I waited a long time on QB2. Herbert carrying the load, Rodgers for the floor. And maybe I can just get away with these 2. Maybe that's fine, but I'll probably draft a 3rd. I might take like Tua or someone. But I would say 8 is my most optimistic projection. But if I had to guess, 6.5 is probably the line on Marvin Harrison. 6, I think, is the most reasonable stance. Anything over than that, I think, is getting on the luckier side of the bet. No worries, Peppertoni. The goose is finally loose. Better late than never. It's officially 10 p.m. on the dot. We have 64 people watching and 46 likes. I like that mirroring. Now it's officially 10:01. A double mirror on the metrics. The clock and the metrics definitely deserves a good omen. I'm going to clear the pipe. I'm going to pack a little bit of weed because it's actually really, really low. But I'm going to take a rip, and then we'll make this pick. Okay. Did Jeremy go? It looks like Jeremy went. So I'll just queue up Fryermuth. Yeah, Jeremy was taken. I'll queue up Fryermuth. I did not take Bigsby. But if I'm going to get away with just 2 quarterbacks, I at least need Rodgers with someone. I'll go P-Fry for sure. And Kincaid, likely Pat Fryermuth. Totally checks out. Done at tight end, might be done at quarterback. Running back, though, is one of the moves I want to make, and one of the clicks I've been smashing has been Katron Allen. But I mentioned I kind of want to mix him in. I'm going to go Zachariah Branch here, and it gives me the excuse to mix in Tua. Officially, I have a Falcon if I want to do that. Once Rodgers is off the board, the only other quarterback I'm fine taking other than Mendoza is Tua. Tua, I've been trying to actually start mixing in a little bit more often, because I do think there's a chance he plays like 14 games. I don't think it's impossible. What I could see happening is he's like 3-5 and then suffers a concussion and is out for like 4 weeks. And during that stretch, Michael Penix goes like 1-3 and just not good enough to stay on the field. Like the losses are really bad, and then the win is just like an obvious win. But Tua was like good enough to where, let's say Tua starts 5-3. Okay, let's be really optimistic. Let's say he starts 5-3. Bear with me. He suffers a concussion and he gets his job back when he returns. But if he also starts 5-3, he might just stay on the field. You know, that's also possible. He could just get a much longer runway and just keep his job. And he probably finishes the year like 8-9. But I haven't looked at their schedule since Candyman was pulling it up. But I'm gonna take a peek, and we'll see if that's possible. They're at Pittsburgh versus Carolina, at Green Bay, at New Orleans, and versus Baltimore, versus Chicago, versus San Fran, at Tampa Bay. Yeah, they probably don't start 5-3. Best case, they're like 4-4, but they're more likely like 3-5. But still, I could see Tua lose his job and get it back. And then if you really want to be optimistic, there's a chance he just finishes the year. But Tua goes to Sanka's roster. Sanka had Kyle Pitts, T-Law, Cam Ward, so totally justified as well. Maybe I take Michael Penix. Maybe I talk myself out of it. Maybe I go Michael Penix instead. Also, I could just stop with these two quarterbacks. Running back, though, is pretty critical. I'll go Jordan James. I'll select Damon Claiborne in this range. Willing to take James Conner at times, but not that many running backs this late that I feel safe clicking. I suppose Jaden Blue makes a little bit of sense, but is the receiver room good enough to stop there? I think I can get away with that. I should probably take Michael Penix. Was definitely talking up Tua, but the bear case on Tua is definitely fair. They probably have to kick the tires on Penix at some point. And who knows, maybe he's just more effective than Tua. And I'm wrong. I'd much rather just have Tua, though. Like, no question. My rankings definitely prefer Tua, but this pick was kind of a zero in many instances, regardless of who I took. So
I think we're on
the
Brazil with
3
the
QB,
last
3
pick.
tight end sometimes is a little tricky, but I think receiver's good enough there to stop with 7. I'm fine with it. Running back feels good enough to stop with 4.
4.
Even with Rashad White. So having Jordan James, just a little extra cherry on top, definitely safer with some high upside. But anybody else this late could have been a true zero. There are some names I like more than Michael Penix, but
Tyreek Hill or Chris Brazil.
today we increased the Chuba exposure. That's not happening too often. And the Michael Penix exposure. That's definitely not happening. I'm curious what my exposure on Michael Penix is. I have never taken him. This is my first click. I might have him in Superflex. Let me check. Superflex exposure. Whoops. 3.7%. So at $3, I've only taken him once in Superflex. That's saying a lot. Meanwhile, Tua, I didn't take once in Superflex. That's interesting. I'm not telling you these are like some of my favorite clicks ever. But I definitely
That's
take
it.
him more.
Ladies and gentlemen,